All right, welcome back to LearnWire. We're going to be taking a look at Humanize AI. Based on my poll I put out 7 days ago, this is the tool that you voted on. I am going to go ahead and try to get Linky AI as well, because it's a link building tool. I know you guys are interested in that, so I will try to get access to that so I can get that review out to you guys. But for sure, Humanize was the winner, so here we are today. This is making content undetectable and humanizing AI content, and also helping you create content for SEO and AEO. So AEO, this is a brand new term that even in my business and space, reviewing tools and so forth, this is kind of the first I'm really hearing about this. This really is something that is definitely on the rise. Even if we take this keyword right over here, AEO, it stands for Answer Engine Optimization. And essentially it's ranking in ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Gemini. When people ask those large language models questions, get it ranking on those. Essentially, it's just another way of doing SEO. If you do SEO and you start ranking on Google, chances are you're going to rank in all those tools anyway. So it doesn't really change much. We can see over here that AEO is on the rise. It's got 14,800 search volume right here. That might even mean something else. When you start looking over here at suggestions, it looks like something else. Anyway, that's just kind of a new terminology. Essentially, it's ranking on ChatGPT and so forth. We're going to go take a look at that in just a second. But essentially, we can research and write articles and make it more humanized. We can check its AI output, kind of like Originality. We'll be putting this through the tests with Originality and Zero GPT and GPT Zero. Okay, so let's dive in. Here is the pricing. We're at license tier 1, $49. You get 10 rank ready AI articles per month. You get 30,000 humanized words per month, 100,000 AI detection words per month, 150,000 plagiarism checks per month. Now, they're not gatekeeping any of the tools, other than I have something to say a little bit about that here when we get into this. Essentially, it doesn't matter if you get on license tier 2, license tier 3. According to what we're seeing right here, you get everything. Nothing really changes. What's changing is the amount of articles. You can write 10 articles here. License tier 2 is $100. You get 20 rank ready AI articles per month, and license tier 3, $249, and you get 40. I do find this part interesting a little bit, that you don't usually see this. So license tier 1 is $99 and you get 20 AI articles. Well, we're doubling that and getting 40 rank ready articles in license tier 3, but the price doesn't just double to $200, it goes up $150. So it increases more than double. You're not getting a deal by going license tier 3. So I don't really know about the pricing here. I don't really like it, but essentially what you're seeing here is the humanizing of the AI words. You are way more than doubling humanize AI words. So that's really where the pricing comes in. You are doubling the articles you can produce, but the pricing more than doubled. But you are tripling, quadrupling the amount of other stats that you get to do down here. So just little things that my eyes notice. We're going to go over here to co-founder real quick. This was founded in 2021. This tool has been in development for 4 years now. Georgia, United States, it's based out of. There's a small team of 10 or less, a startup, bootstrapped, and you can go and check out the co-founder link right there in LinkedIn. And then I like to take a look at the reviews. So it's got a 4-star rating. It would probably have a 4.5 star rating, but the very first review just came in and went boom, gave them a 1-star review. Like, that really does suck. Unless the tool's terrible, does it really deserve a 1 star? That's left to be debated, but it really does hurt the launch of a tool when you have a 1-star rating just sitting there. They're saying that they had login issues and tested this against Originality and some other tools, and it didn't perform. Well, when I ran the humanized text through Originality, it was flagged as 100% AI generated. The founder got back and said they built the tool based on GPT Zero testing, Quillbot testing, and Grammarly testing, and so forth, right? So you have to take these reviews with a grain of salt. That's just one person's opinion. We do have some other ones over here, and literally did identify things with the tool, but they went out of their way to make sure that they gave 5 stars and identify the things that they still wanted to get fixed or whatever. but they didn't want to harm the launch and they still were able to give them a 5-star review. So just not a whole lot of reviews. This tool hasn't really taken off much, not a lot of reviews to make a really big conclusion or anything like that. So let's dive into the tool real quick. Now, one thing I just wanted to mention, and then we're going to dive into testing. This AI content optimizer, monitor, and AI crawler might just be tools that they're in development right now, and no one has access to them. I don't know if we're going to get access to them, but the AI content optimizer is not mentioned on any of the plans. The AI content optimizer, it's not, you don't have to be on plan 2 to get that, or plan 3. So I think those are just things they're working on and they're down the pipeline that are coming soon. We can go and take a look and see if that's the case. We got roadmap here. In progress, we have AI article, agent, prompt improvements, add entities, and P2 keywords. Next up, AI detector accuracy for GPT-5 thinking mode, AI content optimizer. So these are features they're working on and adding. Next, so one of them is AI content optimizer. You can see that AI content optimizer, AI monitor. I'm not seeing where the AI monitor is, but we do have the internal links, suggestions, article generation from user outlines, article generation from, so a lot of people are wanting this to turn into so they can do an all-in-one. They can kind of write and research their content and then also humanize it and do everything all under one roof, which is nice. If they set out to just be a humanized text-based tool, they've got a little bit of work cut out for them, trying to be an all-out content generation tool as well. But they definitely have a roadmap that we can see. So we'll come in here and start off with the dashboard. You can see that you can get to everything right here, the 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 main tools right here, or you can come down here and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The AI writer is right there, grammar checker. It might be, so you can get to any of the tools on the left-hand side, and then you can get to your documents over here. Basically, you're going to come over to the dashboard. We're just going to start from everything I see right here. So AI article, agent, let's go and see what this one is. So create well-researched SEO and AI or AEO optimized. Personally, I just think it's kind of a gimmick having to put this AEO in everywhere. Essentially, if that's on the rise and popular, leave a comment below if you're fully aware of AEO, SEO, and we have AI SEO and all these funny terms, whereas SEO, based on my research, means something totally different. And this industry is just kind of taking that acronym and making it its own. If you're going to post a website in 2025, you're going to hope that it gets crawled and all these things and end up in tools like Perplexity and ChatGPT and so forth, so that you could rank highly and get suggested, right? To me, it's just kind of a redundancy in my opinion. But nonetheless, we are going to get these articles that are optimized, that can win featured snippets, rank on Google, and surface as direct answers in ChatGPT, Gemini, and other. That's exactly what I was kind of thinking that was. So we're going to go over here. You can actually write an article on a topic. I'm going to click this button and grab a term. I already did some keyword research. I'll show you how I did my keyword research. I've really been liking this tool right over here, Answer Socrates, because I'm able to put in my main topic and find all kinds of different keywords. In this case, we found what they call recursive keywords. Then we can go over here and we can click the cluster button, and it goes in here and clusters all these topics and tells you, hey, there was 248 keywords, or there was 311 keywords. We clustered 248 of them. So we clustered 80% of the keywords you gave us. So now we have 60 articles that we're confident that you should write with the keywords in them, and then 63 other additional keywords that we weren't able to cluster. So grand total, you still have 123 articles that you can write. So then I go and export that, and then we have a nice spreadsheet on my other screen. We're going to use that to come in here and go, and I'm going to put this category in, write an article on the topic. I'm going to paste that in on the topic, and then maybe I'll put the fun little brackets here. This is kind of like an answer keyword, right? People are wondering, are there free courses? I'm going to tell you there are. I'm going to go ahead and just ignore this. For what audience? I mean, anyone could be asking that, really. We don't really need this. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it. So write an article on the topic. We're going to see how this performs with just giving it this information, right? Because it's supposed to go out there and research, and it's supposed to go out there and find all the topics and do full-fledged research for us. The interface looks a lot like ChatGPT. So we have, please select the type of article. Cool. So I'm glad that we're just able to put just, boom, write an article on this. Now, select suitable article type. We can go with listicle, comparison, how-to, narrative, blog, others, alternatives. So really, it would be more of a how-to or a narrative blog. I'm going to go with a narrative blog. Confirm for this one. We're just going to answer a question. So now it's going to ask us a question. Choose your target audience. We don't have to choose choose the audience or do anything like that in the very first step. I'm glad I took that off because it's going to kind of pump the brakes, and maybe we wouldn't get this little question if we already specified that, but it's nice that it's checking to make sure it knows who it's writing for. Choose your target audience region, preferred writing tone, and any extra optimization passes. We're going to go United States, select the tone, auto SERP tone. Do you want to apply any optimization passes? SEO optimization, boost ranking for the keyword. AEO optimization, add schema and direct answers for AI results. And humanized writing, more natural, reader friendly. So can we tick box all of these? Yes, we can. Why not just tick box all of them, right? Submit. Maybe the humanized writing. One of the reviews right over here, I think this person left the best review. I recommend going or just pause the video and read the whole thing. I'll kind of scroll down and then you can pause at each side. But essentially, the humanizing effect made it kind of worse. This person wouldn't use the humanizer and publish their content because it was just oversensitive. It made it harder to read, even if it's quote unquote humanizing. It kind of went too well in the wrong way in that it just makes your text less grammatically correct. It tends to add run-on sentences and generally makes the slider harder to read. It does remove AI glitches, but it's just not good enough yet to use and actually publish. You might use this, and we'll test all this out and everything. I'll read it and see how I feel about the writing, but you may choose to unclick the humanize feature for now. Let's select some sources for your articles, web sources, scientific research database. We definitely don't need that. This would be more if you're writing college papers and so forth. This is kind of cool that they have that. It's going to focus on just peer-reviewed journals, scholarly articles, and sources. This would be for writing papers for college or high school or something like that. And this also reminds me of App4AI and some of the other apps on AppSumo that are really research-based. They have that feel as well, which is great, but we're going to go with just web sources. And you can add your links right over here if you really want to do that, but I want the AI to do everything for me. So we're going to select that, push confirm, and hopefully we will be ready soon for the article. Continuing to ask more questions. Any additional? No, I just want to, if everything looks good, simply reply proceed. So it's a chat, so we have to say proceed. I would like it to have a little button just that says proceed. That would be nice. I like the button to push the buttons and not have to type in proceed. Here it is. It's going to enter your primary keyword or suggest keywords for suggestions. So we could do that, but we have our primary keyword right here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And that's it. That's our primary keyword. Confirming keyword choice, processing your request. So it's going to start researching and writing the article. Okay, so what do we've got right here? This was maybe 8 seconds. It's going to find these sources. Kind of reminds me of Neuron Writer and some other tools that are like this. It's researching the top ranked articles. Udemy has a bunch of them, and it's auto highlighting the ones that it thinks can be the most useful. It even has a Reddit post you might be paying for Udemy courses. You can get for free, blah, blah, blah. We're going to go with what it decided, but we can add a URL manually. I really like that option. We can go and add one of these, uncheck, but I'm going to go with just kind of it already decided which ones it thinks are the best. Some of these we don't want to show how to illegally get free stuff, so maybe it's intelligent about that, but let's go save these competitors. We selected all those competitor URLs. The system is going to go now to the next step. All right, so your selected competitor articles are now saved. Proceeding to the next phase, keyword specialist. So nothing was really happening right here. I went ahead and prompted it. It was just kind of sitting there. So I said, okay, great. So now what's next? So now it's saying gathering PT, P2 keyword variations, choose relevant secondary keywords by category. People also ask right here, long tail keywords, related keywords. So I'm going to go ahead and push the X button there, but we could go with specifics there, but I'm going to go ahead and just take those out. Anything that is year specific, I just don't want. I'm going to scroll through and make sure that we've got all this. We're looking pretty good there. I've analyzed and identified a list of secondary keyword options across the secondary categories. It is pretty thorough. It's in a chatbot way. You would expect doing stuff like this in Neuron Writer, Koala Writer, SEO Writing.ai, all kinds of other tools, but this is more user-friendly. It just takes you one step at a time. You're just chatting with an AI chatbot. But saying that it found all these keywords, please review and select the relevant keywords you'd like, and you can remove them. And see the proceed button? I think they should have had the proceed button earlier, and that would have been nice on one of those other steps. Just push the proceed button when you're ready, right? So we've got all these keywords right over here. Okay, cool. Here are the top SEO optimized title options for your article. Select the one you prefer or suggest a custom title in the chat box. So it's going to give us a score. It's going to give us an SEO score. These two at the 98% mark, or this is what it's saying is the best one, and also highlights it. Are there free Udemy courses for US learners? That's great. We can rank for that main keyword for US learners. This would be an article specifically addressing a specific geographical location, which could be a good thing. Are there free Udemy courses? Simple ways to start learning. Are there free Udemy courses with certificates? Those are all really good ones, but let's go with the one that it's selected right here. And we can generate new titles as well, but that's kind of cool. And we're going to go and push save there. Just taking you along the step. I know this seems kind of slow. Hopefully you guys are enjoying yourself watching the video, learning about the software before you decide if it's right for you to even go test out or pick up. So far, so good. I think your selected title, boom, has been saved. Proceeding to the word length specialist for the next phrase. So this is where it kind of sits here in limbo, and I can click over here and it seems like I can type stuff, right? But nothing's happening. So I am going to pause the video just to see if it moves on to the next phase without me interjecting, and we'll be right back. Okay, so one kind of improvement, hopefully they're watching the video, but when you're trying to create an article and the processor, there's going to be certain people that are expecting like, what the heck's going on? It doesn't write the article for me. There's going to be people that are not as patient as me that don't know what's going on. They think that that it's failing. This particular part right here does need a proceed button right there, or it needs to automatically know to jump into the next step. So we are going to have to assist the AI and say proceed and push enter, so it'll proceed. So that's the kind of some confusion. Sometimes along the way, it had proceed buttons, right? And then right over here, it didn't have a proceed button. So now we're determining optimal article length based on the detailed analysis of your selected competitors, blah, blah, blah. We only need a 638 word article. This recommendation comes from reviewing the length and performance of the top articles. We know that there were some Reddit posts as well. There was one that was 13 words, so that wasn't a good source. Probably would be recommended to open up those sources. So I'm going to say they're suggesting 638 words. No, but they're giving you a count. No, let's do 1,000 words, please. One thing I do like about this is that it's taking you every step of the way. It's not just selecting a bunch of settings and then pushing go. That's the style of most AI writers, but in this case, it really is kind of taking you along the steps, breaking things down for you. We are putting more thought into the article creation process. I do think that is the newer direction of AI content creation. So far, I think that's a really good thing. Now it's generating the comprehensive article outline. If you're wanting to just put in a keyword and push go, like SEO writing AI, agility writer, koala, those are going to be the tools that once you have your settings set up for a brand, you're going to be able to just put in a keyword and push go. You're going to like those tools probably better. This one, it's taken a little bit more time to get off the ground and in the air, if that makes sense. We'll be back in just a minute. We've got our outline right here. And I wanted to go through it because there's some places where you can enroll in free courses, what features, how to find and enroll in free Udemy courses. We're writing a whole blown out, full blown article on this. Track daily free coupons. Check if your public library offers Udemy access. That's just not going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and remove that one. I don't know what this part is either. I think that the library card access to Udemy, that might be something worth keeping in, but I think I'm going to go ahead and remove that entire section right there. And we're looking, and we got the FAQs. Everything else looks pretty good. So what do we do next, right? We do have an article score, and that comes after the article. Would you like to make any changes to the outline, or shall we proceed to, so you could actually tell it what to remove right there as well. We went ahead and removed that manually right there. And I'm just going to copy that, place that in the box. Some of this is kind of left up to how you interpret it and how you want to chat with the chat bot. All right, so we are off and running. How long did that take? 5 or 10 minutes to finally get off to creating the article. It is writing the article as we speak right now. I don't know what large language model it's using to write the content. If it's using ChatGPT 5, OpenAI, I don't know. Maybe we come back to questions here and just type in model. So they do address specific questions and concerns right here. They really are only testing this with Zero GPT, GPT Zero, Quillbot, and Grammarly. Those are the 4 that this will pass. They're not using Turnitin, they're not using Originality and all that. So to be fair, it's not going to pass those because they're not trying to pass every single AI detection generator out there, right? This is from the same company as Paper Guide, because it says we have different teams working on Paper Guide and Humanize. So Humanize portion was available in Paper Guide. There was a portion of that. So it's a different tool than Paper Guide, but it looks like they have another tool that they've launched here before. I'm not seeing what model they're using to write the content. I did check, but all right. So we're going to scroll through, see where the article is at. We have our references, our summary, an article score. It's saying a 96%. We said to write 1,000 words. It wrote 1,800 words. If we would have said just 600 words, then it would have probably wrote 1,400 words, right? So it's always going to probably overshoot how many words. You can drag and drop or paste an image URL there. Very simple image uploading feature, no AI images or anything like that. They have an AI writer built in and an Ask AI. We're going to go ahead and I'm not going to really test that part out, but you could go click AI writer, and we'll take you into the AI writer section. But we're just going to go back over here because I want to look at the metadata that it came up with for us. So we have the meta tags over here. It is in HTML format. And then we have our structured data right over here. And then we have our social right there as well. So we can export this as a doc file right there. We can click on the 3 dots here and see what other options. I'm not seeing the other options. Let's click that. I'm left clicking on that, nothing's happening for the 3 dots right there. So they have all these citations here. We're going to go ahead and just stick with that, but you could write it without the citations, but it's really set up to keep citations in here. Let's go ahead and keep the citations and not mess with any of that. We're going to go copy this and we're going to go to word counter and I'm going to paste it in just to be sure that's right. Yeah, 1,800 words. And then we're going to go and sample this real quick. Let's sample some of this. I know that this isn't going to allow us to put as much in, so I'm going to go ahead and remove some of this just like that. And we'll scan this in GPT Zero. It's scanning. We'll go in over here and we will scan the text in Zero GPT as well. And then we'll go into Originality and we will paste this in, even though we know that Originality, it's not, we're just going to do AI check in here, but I want to do this just for fun anyways. We know it's not going to pass. So what do we got here? We are moderately confident this text was AI generated. So 74% AI score. So that means that 75% of it's picking up is AI content, even in their own tool that they are building the tool around. And then we'll go over here to Zero GPT. Your text is human written. So it did a great job with a 99%, 98, 99% that it is human written. And then we'll go into Originality and see what we've got here. Likely AI, 80% confidence. We can go in here and just paste this in as well into Grammarly and just see kind of what stats that Grammarly comes up with. It gives it a 93 overall score. That's a solid score. And it's going to count grammatically how good this content is and it puts it all into context. We could also go and just click on check for text and plagiarism and see what Grammarly comes up with. This section resembles AI text. Our detectors look for common AI text patterns, which it may also find in text. 17% of your text has patterns that resemble AI, so that's not that high. And we didn't detect any plagiarism here, so looking pretty good there. What I really want to do is spend some time reading the article real quick. One thing I will say, I really like this. We're answering a question that someone has, right? And we're even trying to optimize for what is it? We're trying to optimize for AEO, Answer Engine Optimization. And when we come back over here, I like that it immediately jumps in. This means that we have a chance to maybe get the snippet. We may have a chance to get picked up by ChatGPT or Perplexity, right? The short answer is yes. There are free Udemy courses for US learners, and they're easier to find than most people think. Use Udemy's free filter, check the free resource center, and watch daily coupon lists. Expect short entry-level videos without certificates or instructor Q&As, which still works well for getting started. So that is a really strong answer, and it's right off the bat, people have their answer. But if they want to dive deeper, right, are there free Udemy courses for US learners? What qualifies as a free course? It really goes into the technicalities. 19% of listings are free courses, over 250,000 course catalog. Maybe we can go over here and see If we wanted to look at the citation, we could click on that link and get some of this information. We have our FAQs. Is it possible for Udemy courses for free? So I'm going to keep reading a little bit. So the content is good. I'm not really seeing any of the sentences where it doesn't make sense or anything like that. But I will say this, the content is very dry and straightforward, short sentences, loaded with facts. It reads like a research paper. It would be hard to read in a sense. Like there's no like opinion. There isn't a whole lot of personality going on in the article, but it definitely is filled with really good information. So it could be very helpful to someone that really needs to know this stuff, but then also how much time will a reader actually read this article, because it is really dry, really bland, just spitting out facts. My opinion is kind of indifferent about it. I can see the benefit of this, but if it doesn't have any personality, you're probably not going to get people reading the entire article, which could hurt your time on the site. But nonetheless, we're getting some really good facts right here. We're getting citations and the article scores. Another thing that I would do is probably come into Hemingway real quick and just see what the reading score is. This is getting a grade 7, so that's a good score. It checks out a really good grade reading score, so that's great. So that's what the article writing process looks like. I'm going to go back to dashboard. And I already have this copied, so we'll just go back to dashboard and see what this kind of looks like. This is the Notion-like AI editor, where you could click on this and use this in more of a Notion type, select a document here, and we could come in here and start generating our outline, and you could write your articles this way. We could put in an article, case study, essay. We could put the topic in, requirements, and say the word count here. And you can actually have more customization of how you're writing your article. This is really awesome right here. If you want kind of a little bit what I would call like old school as well, back 2020, 2021, this is what articles looked like Word Hero and so forth. This is very Notion-like, and this might be the future of the way that we write our content. I really like that they're giving different options to write our articles. I'm not going to spend much time on that because the big show right here was AI Article Agent. We spent a lot of time on that. Paraphrase or rewrite and rephrase sentences. I'll probably just go and grab some other text from an article from a site. Let's go and find an article on how to make money on Pinterest. All right, so here's a good one. How to make money on Pinterest for beginners. I'm going to click on that, and what we're going to do is I'm just going to go and grab this article, and I'm going to go and see how we could use the AI detector, for example. We're going to paste this lovely article in right here. And we're going to check AI detection. Just want to show you the other tools. This one's showing 100% AI generated content on this site. Now, I can't tell you how accurate this is. I don't know if this was generated with AI, right? We'll have to use the tool a lot and maybe put some articles that we know for a fact were written by humans and see what it scores it. I take this kind of stuff with a grain of salt. Some people just like this kind of thing where they can, test AI generated content. They have their own tester right here, but the true test is probably coming in here, pasting the content and doing a new scan. And we're going to scan that. And I don't know if it's going to let me use this. Okay, too many characters. Okay, so we are highly confident this text is a mix of AI and human. So 66 of the 79 sentences are AI generated. We've got a mix right here, 6% AI generated. So it's kind of hard to read this, but on this one, it scores a little bit better. And then we can come over here into Zero GPT. So come in here, remove that, paste this in, and do a detection right here. These kind of videos will take a long time, especially because this tool is just loaded with features. And so that's why this video is going to be a little bit longer. But your text is 95% AI generated. So all of these almost could guarantee that it's going to score really poorly as well. In originality, we'll scan that real quick. And it's 100% confidence that it's AI generated. So it's pretty fair to say that this content was AI generated, and it's ranking almost on page 1, which is crazy. And so that goes along with my point that it really doesn't matter. These AI detection things are just not really a big deal. It has to do with the structure of the content, how factual, how good the content is. All those things matter. It doesn't matter if it comes from AI, in my opinion. If you are generating AI content at a fast pace that's not being edited and you're just throwing junk up, that's when your site gets hit, in my opinion. The sites in the past that I've done tests with AI content, they got hit because I was doing that. Content sites that were just 100% AI generated with not a lot of thought going into it, those sites got hit. So when you are truly reading your content, just because AI created it doesn't mean that it can't rank. We're gonna go back to dashboards. We did the paraphrase, we did the AI detector. Let's see if we could humanize this and test this one out real quick. So we'll now look at this article that I copied about Pinterest, right? It says it's a grade 9, 1,300 words. We're gonna go back into humanize over here and I'll paste that in. And there is an ultra mode. That other person said to just use balanced mode. The ultra mode really made the content not sound good, but let's test them out and push the humanize button here. So we have 1,300 words of content. All right, so you can rate your humanized text right there as well. What's in green is what it's changing about the content. So you can see what was changed. We have 1,383 words, so only 10 words difference, but we don't really have a score. Let's just go and test this now. We're going to copy this text here. I'm going to check Hemingway. I think this is the big test that you guys would really want to see. It's now worse, right? So the readability went from 9 to 11, which is also probably concerning. We'll go into originality and scan this 100% AI confidence. These will be the real tests of like, does that balanced humanizer improve the AI at all? 73% confidence. So it did improve it by 27 points. It made it 27% more human. I'm just going to use this one. I don't really like that other one. I don't know why. I don't really like the GPT Zero one, but we'll come in here and go with a 95% on this last one. We'll paste that in and we'll see what Zero GPT thinks of this new humanized content. It's 39% AI GPT. So it is fair to say that the humanizer does work. Let's try the ultra mode out. So let's go and humanize this real quick. We'll be right back. Okay, so we'll go and check this out, but I will tell you that even just the original, even if this all got picked up by AI, just read this first paragraph and you tell me which one you think sounds better. This AI generated one, if you're looking to grow your business and increase sales, Pinterest is a platform you can't afford to ignore. Now here's the new humanized version. Business expansion and sales growth requires you to use Pinterest because the platform stands as an absolute essential. It sounds terrible, right? The humanized section, especially ultra mode, is pretty bad, but we do want to test this one out. So we're going to go into Hemingway and see. This is a grade 11 and it worsened to grade 12. I don't recommend using the ultra mode, but let's see what originality says. If you were just trying to pass AI detection, maybe this is a strategy, but I think the content sounds bad. No one's going to read those paragraphs. I know we're at 50% confidence. So even with originality and using ultra, you're only able to improve it by 50%. You're not able to make it 100%. Let's go paste this in real quick and detect this in Zero GPT. No one else out there, by the way, doing these reviews, you guys know, are not going to go through this time. This video will be completely edited down. I use Descript to keep this part in. I'm at 50 minutes in recording content for this video, and I don't know after we're done. Hopefully I'll be able to optimize it at the 30-minute mark or something like that. But no one else is going to be showing you all these tests right here. So if you make it this far, can you please type in the chat, Humanize AI, and also hit that like button. That basically just hit that like button and it tells me that you watched the whole thing and that you like this in-depth, unfiltered content and all these tests I'm doing. So the ultra mode was able to get it to a 13.9% AI. Essentially, this is passing as human written right here. Boom, passing as human written. I'm gonna go back over to dashboard real quick. We have our grammar checker. I'm going to go back to our original content over here, and I'm just going to copy our original article from Pinterest that we grabbed from the internet. And I want to put this through the test here. It looks like it just automatically does stuff. Possible spelling mistake found. So you can accept grammar suggestions. Well done, no grammar issues found. So there's either no grammar issues or the grammar checker is just not that great. But that's how that would work. You just paste content in here and then the issues will automatically be detected on the right-hand side. Let's go back over to dashboard. Plagiarism checker right over here. We'll paste that same article in real quick and we'll push check plagiarism. I just want to show you all the features of the tool. Okay, so out of all the tools, the plagiarism checker does take the longest. I would say that took at least 3 minutes or so. And when you're sitting here recording a video, it seems like a lifetime. That tool definitely takes the longest. We have 0% of the text is plagiarized. What I would do is maybe go over and put this through a test, paste this in right over here and see if this picks up anything over here. Check for AI, text, and plagiarism. One thing to note, pasting that article into Grammarly, it's getting a 96 overall score. So it's getting a very good content score. Might be a reason why it's ranking pretty high on search engines. This text matches Jody Humphreys. This section resembles AI text, but 13% of your text matches external sources. 52% of your text has patterns that resemble AI text. This test was to see if it could find anything, and it does say 13% right there. So it's not identifying what Grammarly exposed in the plagiarism checker. I'll go back over here to dashboard. I think that, so we went over the paraphraser. Did I go over the paraphraser? No, I didn't. That's the only tool we haven't gone. So I'm going to paste that in and just push paraphrase. And we're going to see, you can only paraphrase up to 1,000 words at a time. So I don't really know what we would use this for in today's heavy AI content world. Let's take a little bit more of this off. Another sentence and paraphrase. We'll be right back. Okay, perfect. So we have a paraphrased article here, and really it's just going to kind of rewrite, and you have synonyms. You can increase or decrease synonyms, but it's another article rewriter. This reminds me of a spin rewriter that's been around for like 10 years. Same concept. Quillbot is really good at this kind of stuff. You have the fluency, creative, formal, academic. So this is very much like what you see in Quillbot. If you use that, you can rewrite or paraphrase content. This would be good for customizing and writing content paragraphs at a time, being able to select academic, formal, creative, fluency, and so forth right there. I think that I could see if you're really getting into manually writing / using AI, your articles, this could be a great tool of use. And what you would do is put this up on your second monitor. And then what I would do is put the AI paraphrase tool on your second monitor, right? And then I would use the AI writer editor right here, and then go and find an article, maybe the one we were talking about. And maybe there's a section here that we really like. So you go and grab this, copy that, and put it in the paraphrase tool to have it completely rewrite it. And you can paste it in as your own, right, from many sources, and you'll end up getting really good content that way. It's a manual process, but you could yield a good result as well. So we did go over paraphraser, grammar checker, plagiarism checker, AI detector, Humanize. We wrote a full article in here and so forth. That's pretty much the tool. This is Humanize. By the time this gets out, you're only going to have about less than 3 hours to pick this up as the early discount. After that, the prices will probably go up about by like $10 or something like that. You'll still have a chance to get this. I'm not seeing where we had the scoring. Let me go back over there real quick and go into our article agent. Just want to make sure I showed you everything. When we went into the article score, okay, cool. So I clicked on that, and this is where you're going to see the SEO score, the AEO score here. The content quality says it's really good. It's going to tell you why it thinks it's good, the content structure, and then we can go to keyword optimization right there as well. So that's just a metrics type thing that you can go through right there and check. So overall, my thoughts on this, I think it's a solid tool. I would expect it to perform better than it is in some of those categories for being a tool that's been around for 4 years. This is a really tough tool to build. And here's why I think that. You're always going to be chasing the exact opposite of what you're doing, right? You're going to be chasing your originality, GPT Zero, Grammarly, and all those tools. You're going to constantly be trying to update your tool so it can satisfy all those detecting scores, when in reality, what I just told you was that it doesn't matter if you have AI content, because this one rated 100% AI generated content on this article I showed you, and it's ranking number 12 or 13. Look, it's on page 2 for a keyword that could make someone a ton of money if they're selling a course or something like that. So, I mean, it's competing against Shopify and Etsy and some really big, I mean, it's outranking Printify, right? So, is it even needed, all the heavy use of our heavy analytics and research of humanizing content and all that stuff? At the end of the day, you can just put it in a different tool and you'll get a different score, right? So essentially, in my opinion, it's not needed. When I carve all that out and look at the tool, and what I think are the most useful parts of the tool is that, honestly, I think that the paraphraser tool could definitely be used to rewrite other people's articles, to help you, assist you write writing content more manually. I didn't feel like the plagiarism detector and AI detector were all that great. And you have to compare it to market leaders like Grammarly. They detected stuff that this tool just did not. And while this tool's been around for 4 years, Grammarly's been around forever. So my favorite parts of the tool at the end of the day are the article generation. I think it did a good job researching articles. That's probably the highest value of the tool. It did a great job. Other than not really sounding like a human, just very formal. It wrote in a very formal fashion. If that works for your niche, especially for medical type articles, and you need well-researched articles and so forth, then great. But if you're writing more blog, vlog type stuff, opinionated and so forth, I don't think it's going to do as good at offering personality in the articles. So I think this could be a really good tool for you if you're writing research papers or in a very technical niche. I think this could be a great tool. I do like the Notion style editor in here where you could go and use the AI itself and then the paraphraser. Those are the tools I would use. I'm not that impressed with Humanize. It's literally called Humanize, so that's kind of a bummer. When we put it in ultra mode, it did change the text. To be fair, it did work, but I agree with that person's review that the text was really bad. It was not something I would put on my website. At the end of the day, I'm going to give this a 3.8 star rating. It's right for the right person. It's definitely not better than tools that are already out on the market, in my opinion. They put a lot of effort into this tool. There's some solid features and so forth, but it's not something I could see myself personally using with all of the AI tools that I already have. This would be a good tool if you don't want to pay for Grammarly, you don't want to pay for Originality, you don't want to pay $20 a month for ChatGPT, but you need a solution for all those things. I think that is the customer base that this is for. So 3.8, what do you guys think? Do you agree with my score on this one? Go pick this up. The link will be below. If this convinced you to buy it, go pick it up before you lose out on the early bird access. Even if you miss that, the pricing is going to probably go up to like $59. So it's not really a big deal. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. If you didn't hit that like button, just hit that like button. It tells me that you like this kind of content. I'll see you in the next video.